to wail, or not to wail, that is the question. If you are pulling for Shenhe and the Calamity Qweller, then this video is for you. Should you stop at C0 and R1, or wail and max them out, then contemplate about all the Primos gems you use and wonder, was it worth it? Let's start with Shenhe's constellations. Her C1, Clarity of Heart, gives her an extra charge of her skill. Her C2, Centered Spirit, extends her burst time by 6 seconds and the active character in the AoE gets 15% more cryo crit damage. Her C4, Insight, she gains a stack called Skyfrost Mantra when you trigger her skill's damage bonus effect. She will use all stacks when she uses her skill again, increasing her skill damage by 5% per stack. The max stack is 50 and lasts 60 seconds. Her C6, Mystical Abandon, when triggering her skill's effect using autos or charge attacks, they no longer count for the trigger quota. C1 is a good constellation to pull for, it helps with her high energy cost and is a slight DPS increase. C2 is a good constellation to pull for, the cryo and physical shred last longer while also boosting cryo crit damage. C4 is not a constellation worth pulling for. Now don't get me wrong, the increased damage to her skill based on the stacks she has is great, but you're not really using Shenhe for damage. C6 is a good constellation to pull for, but it has a small flaw. You need a unit that deals cryo damage on autos and charge attacks. Ayaka, Aloy, Ganyu, and Chongyun are the only units who can do this. If you don't have Ayaka or Ganyu, the value of the constellation drops. Aloy's usage of this constellation is very tricky due to how her skill operates. Her skill can do up to 7 instances of cryo damage hits, a cryo expulsion, and 6 mini cryo bombs. Of those 7 cryo hits, she needs 4 of them to hit a target to deal cryo damage on her autos. The chances of Aloy's skill passing over the hit quota for Shenhe's skill is very high, and the practical use of this constellation on Aloy is little to nothing. Chongyun's usage of this constellation is very easy with his skill. His skill does up to 2 instances of cryo damage, a slam and a sword strike. It also leaves a cryo aura on the floor which will infuse polearms, swords, and claymore users' auto attacks with cryo. His skill will go over the hit quota, and allow other units to use the constellation as long as they are a melee character. The only downside would be that you are doing cryo damage on non-cryo characters that would get a smaller increase in damage compared to cryo units with a cryo cup. Now that we are done with Shenhe's constellations,
Windblade! Okay.
Alright, sorry for that. Time to look at the Calamity Qweller. This weapon's base attack at level 90 is 741, making it the highest for polearms. Its substat at level 90 is 16.5% attack increase, which is very low, but that is fine. Attack stats for units are decided using this formula. Total attack equals base attack plus flat attack plus AC% times base attack. Calamity Queller's passive, Extinguishing Precept, gives 12% damage bonus on all elements. After using skill, you gain a buff called Consummation which will increase attack by 3.2% per second up to 6 times. The buff lasts 20 seconds and when not on field the attack increase is doubled. These are the percentages for the elemental damage: max on field attack stacks increase, and max off field attack stacks increase for all refinements. Stopping at R1 is your best choice due to snapshotting and how the passive works. Snapshotting refers to the state in which attributes are fixed on a long-lasting ability, effect, entity, or summon based on a character's attributes during the ability's activation. A snapshotted ability will not receive the additional buffs the character obtains after its activation. An example of snapshotting is Zhongli and his pillar. Xiao, Hu Tao, and Raiden benefit the most from the on-field part of the passive. After using skill, use Xiao's and Raiden's burst because they don't snapshot. The damage they do during the activation of burst comes from autos which scale off your attack stats. The same can be said about Hu Tao but towards her skill. When it comes to the off-field part of the passive, only Toma, Raiden, and Shenhe can use it. I don't know how to explain this part very well, so in the description and comments section, I will leave a link to the Genshin wiki on fandom so you can get a more in-depth understanding of snapshotting. Now it's giveaway time! To take part, leave a comment and send a picture to HightailUs on Twitter to show that you are subbed to the channel. There will be 5 winners and the prizes are an AR49 account with Arataki Ito, 1 Battle Pass, and 3 Welkins of the Moon. January 14th at 9 PM EST is when the giveaway will end.